back here. See here? So go right to left, right to left. Good Sunday morning. And welcome to Ice Age TV, Tennessee style, that is. Yeah, wow. Just incredible. Just incredible. Beautiful weather down here and beautiful morning. And it's Sunday. And believe it or not, the church that I go to is right across the way over there. If you can kind of see that maybe. Yeah, it's a really nice small church. And we're down here. We go to that on Sundays. And wow, yesterday spent the day. Look over there and over here. We actually helped my mother-in-law out yesterday. We trimmed up all the trees and shrubbery, and that was a project. Thank goodness I had the kid, because until you do this stuff, you just don't get it, you know. But my mother-in-law, she's a widow, and sadly on that's a challenge. So we're down here always helping her out, and we get the place all cleaned up and trimmed it all up, and I bought some battery powered trimmers, hedge trimmer and pole saw and all that stuff. And so anyways, very busy day yesterday, just doing yard work, no motorcycle riding. Took a time out from yabba dabba doobing yesterday, and just, you know, too much going on. We have family around. It's not as easy to do things when you're traveling. But anyways, I'm just thinking to myself, you know, what's going on, man? You know, everything's related to the cars. I mean, if you kind of look around, you know, my whole channel revolves around cars and motorcycles. And so I stayed out here last night till about 10:30, cleaning all the motorcycles up. I mean, I literally cleaned every one of them, got them all cleaned up. And these Indians really are nice motorcycles. I mean, that's the danger when you ride one to the other. It makes you start thinking differently. But I'm just really loving the Harley. It's just really nice. And I can see, actually, last night, I can see this guy drop this. There's actually, he actually laid this down the right-hand side. You can see by all the rough, and you can see down here. And that's easy to do. This is a lot of motorcycle. And here's the Scout, and there's the Bobber. You know, the Street Bob, I should say. The Scout Bobber and the Street Bob. They're kind of just competing against each other to a degree. Yeah, did we keep that? I don't know. Come here, Puff. So they're eating the kitty cat food. Yeah, my mother-in-law likes to give the wild animals food, so they come up here at nighttime and eat it. But looks like they didn't do that. Yeah. So, anyways, on my Ice Age TV, I wonder if anybody missed the Saturday morning conversation. Didn't have one. Here's Sunday morning, and you know, I've been watching news for the most part, and just kind of thinking to myself, I was thinking, wow, it's all about the housing. I thought to myself, you know, more than ever our lifetime, you're just now starting to hear stories of you know, the housing market really is starting to, I mean, there's people talking 30-40% correction. I mean, that's radical. There's people talking about how the price you paid for a house in 2012 is what you're going to get for it now, some 10 years later. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of YouTube videos out there now that just all day long, it's all about the housing crash, and all the experts are now apparently YouTubing and explaining to everybody what's going on. But, you know, what's interesting, what I thought about is, more than ever, what's the most common word we hear than ever is crash. I mean, that seems to be now kind of like the common, you know, the crash. You know, the used car market, you know, it's going to crash. The housing market's going to crash. The stock market's going to crash. I mean, think about the tone yourself. What's the underlying message every day and when you get out of bed anymore? It's, it'd be like me telling you, you're going to drive your car today, you're going to crash. You're going to drive your motorcycle today, and you're going to crash. I mean, for anybody that's a parent or a teacher or anybody that's a leader, I don't have leader capabilities, but the whole point is, for anybody out there that's talking to people and you start using these words, those are powerful words. You got to be careful. And sadly, in our society, people use very hateful words. I mean, one person, posted on one of my comments. I mean, for me, I'm fortunate. I don't have a lot of negative comments, but somebody's looking at me like it's all about me and only about me, and I don't care about others. And that person has no clue that I take care of my family and friends, and they're clueless of what I actually do for so many other people. But for me as an individual, am I going to start a conversation with somebody that thinks that I'm a person it's all about me and I don't care about others? But people follow my channel, they get that, and that person's not going to get very far on those comments. But the underlying, message from him to me is, I'm just a person that doesn't care about others. Yeah. And so there's where I go back to my words are powerful, and that's what I'm saying is, when you hear every day, you get out of bed now, come on, pups, the economy's going to crash, your housing price is going to crash, your car values are going to crash. I mean, so, how does that make anybody feel better about the situation of our country? But what created all this, right? Where'd this all start? Come on, pups. Let's go. Come on. Get in. Come on. Let's get back in here. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Yeah, there's the weight set for the kid. Kid uses that weight set there. She does free weights. How about that idea? Right? Yeah, we love that. So now we go back into my office here, and a little different environment. This is my father-in-law's office, which sadly he passed. He was a Vietnam man. And done a lot of work here, actually, on the home, and I've cleaned it all up. And but once again, let's not focus on others' unhappiness of life. Let's focus on how we become better. But I think to myself, wow, more than ever, the media machine and even the YouTubers. I mean, the YouTube channels are just exploding with all the people being told that you're in for dire straight times. And you have to say to yourself, well, how did we get to this point? And for me, having a YouTube channel based on cars and motorcycles and all, and yeah, even for me, it's no different. I've got a lot of exposure of a lot of money and a lot of investment in vehicles. Which way does that go? Because I'm one of the people that have buying the used vehicles. Yeah. Yeah. What are those Ram trucks worth? Yeah. Right. What's the Raptor worth? I mean, I don't think the Raptor's a vehicle. And that's something I'm thinking about too right now is you got to wonder, do a lot of people that want nice cars sit on the sidelines now waiting for the values to adjust? I mean, I think that's one scenario that's playing out. So I don't think people are out of money. I think people now are just more than ever taking a time out. And if you think about the housing market, I mean, there's one gentleman that made a video that I watched this morning, and he's really preaching on how, for him, he's not going to go out and buy a house right now because he feels like if he buys a new house right now, he's going to get caught where the house takes a hit and he's going to lose all his equity in it. So he was saying that he bought a house like 3-4 years ago and or whatever it was, and he's got a good amount of equity in the home for the value of the home, but he feels like now if he buys a home, he's going to be the person that pays $500, and that's going to be worth $350, $400. So there's a whole other variable, not just the media's, the media machine and the interest rates, but you got to step back and say to yourself, how did this all play out? And I was preaching this actually a while ago, that the Fed did a disservice to this country by making the interest rates so low, because it just created the fake money, meaning you're using other people's money for little to nothing. But how long will that last? And that's what I was saying. You could look at my videos in the past. So I was just saying, if they leave the interest rates the same level, then yeah, it works to a degree. But the greed of mankind, sadly drove the housing market. Not even so much that really, really just the change of times kind of took the housing market, meaning when you had less than 3% interest rates, and opened the door for a lot of people renting an apartment to possibly buy a house. And then you had the mass exodus of the inner cities and crime-related challenges, lawless cities, to people that could work remotely from home. And fuel prices were so cheap, people justify living out in the suburbs and driving back to the city. So the pandemic thing definitely created, in my eyes, the fake economy, which is just really bad, sadly, because now are we going to go through the times of hardships like not seen before? But there's the daily rhetoric now. Where's the good news, right? Where's the good news? Where's the excitement? Yeah, you go to the manufacturers and all you hear is they're raising their prices. I mean, the car manufacturers are raising their prices, but yet people are stepping back. In the used car market, values are going down because people are stepping back to see what's going to play out. So a lot of people, I think, are not out of money or dire straits. I think it's more people are saying, whoa, I don't want to be caught paying too much for things right now. And I think we're having a market adjustment. Yeah, right. Yeah, and once again, the word crash. That's all you hear every day now. Boy, isn't that encouraging, right? So how do you make the good out of all this? I mean, really, how do you, in all sincereness, I think for the most part, people, for the most part, are better off than the media wants to start telling everybody. That's the first thing. The negative content, I say it all the time, the negative content draws so many viewers to these, the one gentleman that I watched this morning, his big thing across his, picture of his YouTube was he's gone broke. The implications was he's gone broke from selling his house. Well, he didn't sell his house. That was just the click on his channel to see if he went broke. Because don't people cater to wanting to see the bad news? I mean, come on. I mean, sincerely, what drives people to watch things? Yeah, it's sad, but it's about the truth, right? So yeah, so here I have a YouTube channel. It's based around cars and motorcycles, and I can tell you what, we rode our motorcycles the other day. We just had a blast, and my kid claims that new CVO I bought, that exhaust is so loud, she can barely hear her exhaust when I'm getting into it, and that thing is very fast. I mean, that's a great riding bike. And we rode the Tail of the Dragon. And just, I'm pretty sure it's Tail of Dragon down there, right outside of Gatlinburg, right there in the park. I mean, tons of twisties. There's a lot of twisties. But I think it's the tail end. There's different parts of Tail of Dragon, it's my understanding. But it was so weird that we got off and ended up on a dirt road. That was freaky. We were going down a dirt road for at least 2 miles, at least. I was just kind of going into the unknown. Remember the conversations of the unknown? More than ever, this economy and country's the unknown. But anyways, the CVO, awesome. Street Bob, kid loves it. The Wheels Through Time, that was a great experience. The Raptor truck, oh my gosh. That Raptor truck is so much fun. I was towing that thing just hauls tail. That thing rolls. So that Raptor truck really is nice. I didn't notice the Raptor truck's front headlights, they turn at nighttime. So when you turn the truck on, they first open up like your eyes do, where the lights kind of come up to level with the where they're supposed to be, look down the road. But when you go around a corner or when you turn the steering wheel, the lights turn left and right. That is so cool. Audi or Volkswagen came out with that like 10 years ago or something, I think. And, I didn't even really know that because I don't drive that truck much at nighttime. So, I don't, as you progress in life, back when I was coaching youth, basketball, and the kid was attending events and having to take her places. Yeah, I drove at night. But when you get older, you're just not out at nighttime unless you're, going to a church service or going to a ball game or some activity. For the most part, you kind of get home that afternoon, you kind of call it an evening, and then you spend the time like I do in my shop, and I'm doing projects. Cleaning my cars or changing the oil or doing exhaust on the motorcycle or, whatever it is. I just enjoy being home in the evening and taking care of things I own. And that's one thing here is, for me as a son-in-law, every time I come down here, I try to do projects to help my mother-in-law out and keep the place in order. And Anyway, so just a real short video this morning, just basically reaching out, saying hi to all my subscribers. Are probably thinking, hey, what happened to the Iceman making his regular videos? But it's all about him in my in-laws' home, and I just don't feel like being too loud. You can kind of tell because it echoes, and like, what are you doing down there? In that office downstairs. So yeah, anything. I just want to throw out their ideas, and I just think people need to kind of it's just incredible how you stop and think about where we are in today's environment. It's all about the crash. Yikes, right? Is that the word? But at the same time, we all know that something, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind, some good things are going to come out of all this craziness that we're in. There's just no doubt in my mind. I have faith and confidence that sometimes you just have to clean things up, and I think at the end, it'll be all right. Everything's always projected to be the worst, and everybody telling everybody to take their money out of the banks. I just don't get all that either. I mean, it's radical times for some of these YouTubers. So, yeah, what's the agenda now? Well, hopefully this afternoon we get at church to do some riding today. Actually, my daughter has been sick, so we'll see how she feels today. You know, she did a lot of work yesterday with me, but she just is all congested and not feeling the greatest. So we'll see how that plays out. But anyways, just a Sunday morning, talk around, walk around, and hope everybody has a great, blessed day. And stay tuned for some more videos. And God bless and be safe.